said, Temple's 2019 season begins Saturday at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. Dallas will host Bucknell at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. The game will be on ESPN3. Coach, thanks so much for joining us on the call today. So just give us your thoughts on how your preseason has gone as you head into the season opener against Bucknell, please.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Preseason was good. Obviously, with the rule changes happened a couple of years ago, it's a lot different pace and tempo than preseason used to be with the limited practices and the day off and things like that. But I think it's all good. It's all positive. Our guys responded well. I think they stayed a lot fresher than they have. And so it's been good. Now it's time to get to work and, see if the work that we have done has paid off.
Any questions for Coach Rod Carey, please star 1 on your telephone keypad. We'll put you in the queue, and then the operator will introduce you.
And first we'll hear from Mark Naducci with Philadelphia Inquirer. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Rod. Just want to find out if Anthony Russo, your quarterback, was able to practice today.
He was able to practice today. It was a light practice, Mark. So I kind of expected him to be able to go through this one. Wasn't really a full blown one as we're getting into game week routines. So how he responds off that and then goes into tomorrow, if he responds well, then going in tomorrow, we'll get a really good gauge tomorrow on where he's at as well.
Thank you.
You bet.
And next we'll hear from Dan Tortora with WakeUpCallDT.com.
Good afternoon, Coach. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Just to go back to, I know that recently here, President Englert was able to speak to the team. Just what you can say about the importance of that and maybe some takeaways you had from his conversation with the team.
Yeah, well, first off, he did an outstanding job speaking to the team, which, I knew he would. He's the leader of our university. And anytime, I've been fortunate enough where the presidents that I've been around have come down and spoken, but he engages with these guys. And so probably more important than the words it is the engagement that he had with our guys beforehand and after he broke them down on the field. Our guys really appreciate him, and he's interested in them. And that means a lot to have that from him. And I'm sure he's that way with all the students that he gets to, but certainly meant a ton to us.
And then as far as, obviously stepping onto this team and coming out as their coach, in this first game coming up very soon, there's been a lot of turnover at Temple with coaches. There's been a lot of success, but there's been turnover. Just what you can say about how the guys have received you and just kind of your message to them knowing that, they've had different coaches.
Yeah, well, I've had this question before now through this transition, and I was the third head coach in 3 years at Northern when I took over. Now, I was the offensive coordinator before that, so I knew the offensive guys, but certainly the defensive guys back in Northern didn't know me. So I saw a lot of the same characteristics in this team that I saw on that team that we took over there at Northern, from the standpoint of that adversity when you go through that with coaching transitions can either divide a team quickly or cement them together. And it certainly cemented this one together, which is a powerful thing. And I think that is something I know that's something that we have gone ahead and fostered and let develop because player-led teams are your strongest teams. Now, we certainly have to coach them. We certainly have to guide them. It's not a hands-off-the-wheel type of deal. But it's certainly something where, maybe the grip isn't as tight because of what they've been through and how that locker room is.
Well, thank you, Coach. I appreciate it, and good luck with your first game.
I bet. Thanks, Sam.
Next we'll hear from Sean Pastor with Alf Bailey.
Hi, Rod. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great. So I was just curious, Anthony's status aside, it was not uncommon at Northern for you to play multiple quarterbacks. Would it be pretty much a near certainty that Toddy is going to play on Saturday? And then even further, is it maybe on your to-do list to get Trad some action as well?
Yeah, I don't think of things like that, to be honest with you. When we get a quarterback, that's who we play. And then if circumstances arise that another guy plays, either by earning it, position you're in the game, or by injury, then we kind of go from there and address that at the time. But that's not a planned thing going in. Right now, we're planning for Toddy. That's what we're planning, and he knows that, and we know that. We're trying to assess Anthony right now and see where he is at in his rehab, along with trying to get him prepared. So it's a difficult line to walk, because you need to get him the reps to prepare, but you got to make sure it's still rehab, because you don't want to push it and hurt him in practice. So our plan right now is Todd, and then if Russo can go, like I've said it to them, is that you don't lose your job because of an injury.
Okay, then one similar follow-up. Is there any, I don't know, either due to the situation or the personnel, are you any maybe less inclined to run the quarterback as much at Temple as you did at Northern?
Yeah, I think that's kind of a misconceived notion. It's the whole thing. When we had Lynch, we certainly ran him because he was good, and he rushed for 2,000 yards his senior year. And we've had other quarterbacks that have had good rushing numbers, but really quarterbacking is operating the offense and throwing the ball. So that's first and foremost. And we certainly are always going to have elements of that quarterback running the football. That's not something that we're ever going to get away from too far. But as far as running the quarterback, really truly only did that with one guy, and that was Lynch. Even with Harnish before Lynch, we didn't truly just run him. There may be a few times here and there in games where it called for it, but we didn't truly just run him. So situationally we will, and certainly we want to always keep that element. But quarterbacking is hard enough without asking him to do something else.
Okay, thanks.
And next we'll hear from Donald Hunt with the Philadelphia Tribune.
Coach Carey, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Listen, can you talk about Chappelle Russell, who looks like a real playmaker for you at linebacker, in terms of him making plays and getting to the ball and playing a run particularly?
Yeah, well, Chappelle executes at a high level, and that is proven. Of course, I know he's had to deal with injury too, and he has fought back unbelievable from both. And really now he's a whole year removed away from all of that, and he's in a situation where he has executed at a high level in camp, and I think that's going to allow him to execute on game day as well. That's what I'm expecting. That's what he's expecting. And he just is one of those linebackers that has a nose for the football, and then you combine that with his work ethic in the classroom and in the weight room and on the football field in practice. That's when execution just goes off the charts, and I would expect that from him this year.
Okay, and how you feel about your first game in Philly? You know, you're playing Bucknell. You're going to be down at the link. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm excited. I really am. Obviously, we love playing at the link. That's our home stadium right now. We share with the Eagles, and I think it's a big recruiting advantage to playing an NFL stadium when we can do that and have recruits come to that. In this area, obviously, knows all about the link and the Eagles, and now with Temple establishing ourselves too. So I'm excited about it. I know the guys are, and that's really the most important, because I'm not going to play one play on Saturday. The guys are going to play all the downs, and they're ready. We're not ready there yet game plan-wise and finishing it up, but they're ready to hit it in a different colored jersey.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Tom.
Take one more for Coach Carey, please.
And we will hear from John DiCarlo with OwlScoop.com.
Hey, Rod, how are you?
Good, John. How are you?
Good. Hey, I was just wondering who, just even over the last few days, has really kind of started to separate themselves at running back and safety, just heading into the opener.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's changed a whole lot of running back. I think Ramon and Jagger and Dobbins, those three, are going to play. All three of them you're going to see there. And then at safety, there's been a great battle going on there with Deshaun and Monroe and Benny Walls, and even Bruton throw that in there. But Monroe has probably taken the edge here, end of this week, beginning of this week, today, and things like that. So, but I expect all four of those guys to play, and that's a good problem to have.
And just one last thing. How are you guys doing? I know, obviously, you've been asked about Russo a lot. How are you guys doing just health-wise, just in general, the rest of the team heading into Saturday?
I would classify it as we have some bumps and bruises overall. Nothing long-term. Maybe some guys might not be ready for this week, but everybody's day-to-day, so everyone's got a shot. It's got some bumps and bruises to be ready to go. Obviously led by Russo on the whole thing. So, I know day-by-day sucks to tell because everyone rolls their eyes at it, but it's the truth in this case because nothing long-term. It's just really day-to-day with some guys.
Gotcha. Thanks, Rod. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Coach, thanks so much for the time this afternoon. Look forward to hearing from you once again next Monday.